Hello, my dear friend, Mr. Nicothy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, unfortunately, Stephen.
Whoa.
Hello, chat.
everybody, how we doing? Don't worry, I've adjusted Nick's volume. It's not going to blow your ears out anymore. Um, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentle thems, welcome to the very first episode of what we are calling TechDrivel. Now, the logo does look somewhat like it's jizz soaked, but it's supposed to be drool. Drool. No, okay, well that's fine.
No one's buying it, Stephen.
No one's buying it. Okay, well I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Stephen. I am a passionate nerd. Those are my qualifications for hosting this show. And over here we have my friend Nick. Nick, please do introduce yourselves.
Hello, Internet. You know me as Nick IGN, the salty mod in Stephen's chat. was the only mod until he got drunk and gave, I think it was Chelly, mod privileges randomly one night. But it's fine. I'm not bitter. I will ban you if you are too thirsty in chat. I'm a actual tech journalist, so I sort of know what I'm doing. If not, I can always Google it fast enough so it makes it look like I know what I'm talking about.
You can create the illusion of knowing what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's the illusion of knowing what I talk about. Yeah. But yeah, that's been in a nutshell.
Excellent. I mean, that's all we asked for. I mean, people in chat, you guys are already very familiar. You know Nick. You watch Nick over at you're Nick IGN on Twitch. Is that correct?
I am. Yes, you can find me on Nick IGN.
There we go. Nick IGN. Now, oh no, I can't even. I don't even.
Oh, this is why your mods should do this for you, Steven.
There we go. There we go. I did it. I got there eventually. So the plan for this show, TechDrivel, it's called TechDrivel because we're just going to drivel on about things that we like or dislike. But we're both big nerds and we both have many opinions about many things. So so the idea is we try and cram it into, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. Now, well, you know what? We're going to have to cross that bridge when we get to it. I think we're just going to figure it out on the fly, aren't we?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, like any good show, you just kind of have a script, you have a schedule, and you throw it out the fucking window and you do what you want.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that we definitely wanted to tell you guys over in chat is that the idea is is that you are in fact the third host of the show, because it's way more interesting when we get to talk to you guys, and that includes yelling at us when you disagree and when we've got things wrong and and all that kind of stuff. So please,
we will time you out. Just saying. I mean, but like you can still yell at us. Yeah.
I mean, you're more than welcome to prove us wrong, but we'll also time you out of spite.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty reasonable. So I should talk about the couple of the couple of topics that we've got on for today. Okay. Should I go over them or should we just like jump into the first one?
Well, you are the queen of this tech show, so it's all in your hands.
That is true. You know, I think we should start with something very light, which is what is Nick playing with? Because I hear you have many I hear you have many toys to show us.
I do. I mean, I have loads of toys. You can see some of them on the kitchen counter behind me, but I'm gonna
the other ones are in the dishwasher because they need a rinse.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta stay clean. I'm going to show you two things I'm currently playing with. So the first one, I think for anybody who is an aspiring Twitch person or wants to be doing podcasts at home or really just wants to improve the quality of their voice on Zoom calls, I've been given the Razer Siren Mini. There we go. It's a USB microphone. Very, very cute. Very small. I'm going to try and see if I can gracefully unbox this.
Is this a recent release?
I think it came out earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. This is the actual microphone.
It's tiny.
It's tiny. It is like a little pill.
It's kind of cute. I like it. I'm into it.
Very cute. Yeah. There's a USB connection at the bottom. It comes with like a simple base as well. You could just basically screw on the other bit over here, plug in the USB cable, plug it into your computer, and it just detects it as a USB microphone, and away you go. So this one is priced at $50, which is super affordable.
Which currency? Are we talking US dollars?
Oh, US, because that's apparently the only currency that the world understands.
I think we do need to. I think we need to set a standard here that we talk about everything just in US dollars, just for the convenience of the madness. Because otherwise we'll never have any idea. By default, unless specified otherwise, we're talking US dollars. Does that work?
Yeah, done.
Okay.
That's good enough for me. Yeah, I wish I was paid in US dollars as well, but sadly it's not the case. Anywho, but feel free to tip us.
Yeah,
Tipping links
yeah.
are below.
Also tipping in US dollars because it's worth more. Thank you.
But yeah, so this is the Razer Siren Mini. If you want like a good entry level microphone for your stream or your podcast, then this is something that you should be looking forward to.
Have you
I'll be
tried this
posting
yet?
I haven't tried it yet because I've got so much of shit on my plate at the moment. It's not even funny.
Mhm.
Like, not even funny how much, like, literally on the desk in front of me, I have 7 products that are hiding behind the camera, and these are the only 2 I'm showing you. So that's one.
So
right?
is this comparable to something like what are the little USB Elgato mics?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what they were looking to do is they were trying to do something as similar to the Yeti Mini,
Oh,
Yeti
like the
Blue Mini, but
snowball or something like that.
yeah. But the thing is, the Yeti ones are about $90 and have volume control and a headphone jack. This doesn't have either. This is literally just the microphone.
Oh, okay.
So it's interesting that they want to make a microphone geared towards streamers, but they don't include a mute button. So it's gonna be interesting to see exactly how this performs.
That does seem. I feel like that's an oversight. Like a physical. You kind of need a physical mute button.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing is that the price for it is super entry level. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on a microphone, you don't know if your stream thing is going to be something you want to be doing for a long time, then still, for a microphone isn't too bad.
Yeah, $50 is good if you want something that's like quality and basically does all the things, but without spending a huge fortune, without a massive outlay.
Yeah. I mean, I know you were looking for mics when you were first started streaming. I think you've got the Yeti Blue.
Yes, and that was purely because I wanted something that was in white. That was it. That was entirely it. And
what's funny is this one comes in black, pink, and white.
Oh, fancy.
So
what kind of pink? Is it that awful?
It's that
pastel...
horrendous, like, gamer girl, like, bright pink bubblegum nonsense.
Yeah, that's not quite the pink that I'm into, he says with a pink background.
But that's the Razer Siren Mini, and then the last, the next one I have is these beautiful things.
Okay, we need more information about these glasses. Nick is holding up. Oh, you know what? I think I might have seen these somewhere else before.
Right.
They're by the looks of it, they just look like a pair of black sunglasses with fairly chunky arms.
Yeah, but that's a secret. These are actually the Bose frame Tenor. These are sunglasses, but they have basically the ability to project sound directly into your ears. So you basically can use them as headphones while still leaving your ears open. So you can listen to, people talk to you next, if you're having a conversation with somebody and you still want to have the background music of the Benny Hill soundtrack, you can do that as well. You want to listen to the traffic, you want to hear a personal trainer while you're working out. Obviously, these aren't the workout frames. These are just like normal sunglasses for the beach or the pool.
Yeah.
But they also come in a style that are good for training and running. So you can, hear oncoming traffic and things like that while still hearing, say, like a podcast or whatever in your ears, and they're actually quite cool.
Is the speaker open, or is it like bone conduction, or like what is it?
Yeah, it's not bone conduction. I don't know if my shitty camera will basically pick it up, but here is where the speaker is.
Okay.
And the way it's angled is it basically beams the audio directly into your ear canal.
Okay, so it does get into your ear, but in general, people around you can't hear it.
Yeah, but if you crank it up like to the max volume, you will hear a lot of audio bleeding, because it's basically literally a speaker by your ear, so people are going to hear what you're listening to. But if you keep it at the kind of medium levels, which is really what you want to be keeping them at, you should be fine. The really cool thing about these is being able to walk around and use them for phone calls, and I've been testing these all this week, and pretty much anybody I've spoken to said that the audio quality is great. I can hear them perfectly well, and it's pretty cool. The one thing I don't like about it is this. It charges using its own kind of USB magnetic connector.
Oh, like a Fitbit, like its own proprietary connector thing.
Yeah, I mean, which is super annoying.
Is it though? Because I mean, would you want a USB-C port on there?
Well, here, riddle me this. There are 3 models in this series. The other two models have USB-C. So why do they?
Oh, okay. Well, then apparently that is not a tech limitation as such, right?
Yeah. It's just some weird thing that they decided, let's just give these guys yet another cable to plug into somewhere. Whereas, in this day and age, everybody now has a USB-C cable lying around for a phone or a tablet, whatever. but I would have preferred that they charge via USB-C.
And Jazz says, or they can do Qi wireless charging. That's an idea.
Yeah, just wireless charging. Like I think it was the Snapchat lenses that did
Oh,
not wireless, but in the box itself. Like
yeah.
you just put them back in, and the box charges your glasses.
Yeah, I see.
These don't have a charging box.
Yeah. See, I think it'd be less annoying. I don't mind the proprietary charging if at least it's its own cradle, like if it's its own thing. That's like self-contained. But they're pretty cool though. Like I don't think I would look at those and think that they were anything other than regular glasses from a distance. I mean, I know what they are now, so I would, but
yeah,
like they just look like a chunky arm.
Yeah, I mean they are styled like regular glasses, and like you said, anybody who just looks at them will think, oh, it's a regular pair of sunglasses. But once you actually wear them or come close to somebody wearing them, you'll hear this audio coming out of them, and you'll figure out, oh, okay, if you need these actually sunglasses, headphones, sort of hybrid thing.
Yeah, but I imagine
you can also pop up the lenses if you want.
Oh, okay, so you can put in different lenses. But I mean, I imagine if you get close, it'd just sound like somebody who has like crappy old earpods in, right? Just like the regular ones.
You know the Walkman style where the audio is going anywhere but inside your ear.
That's weird. I'd be okay with it if the plug-in can be charged by direct AC. Like, I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
I think Macron. So these don't have. I mean, these plug in through a proprietary connector, but the other end is a USB, so you can plug it into a laptop to charge.
Oh, okay. So it's
wall socket.
It's not like hardwired into a wall wart.
Yeah, no. The other end is basically you plug it into anything that's supposed to USB charging, and away you go. Can I give you serious ear damage? Norwegian Pilot, hello, long time. Not quite, because even though you play these really, really loud, they're basically loud enough that you can still hear them clearly, but not loud enough where it's going to seriously damage your ear canals, like as if you were having in-ear headphones or regular headphones.
I mean, realistically, you could damage your ears with any pair of headphones. It doesn't really matter.
Pretty much.
Like any sound that's loud enough. I don't think, because I mean, the whole point is that they're open, right? And that you can hear the world around you while you're using them, like AirPods or whatever, and that they're not noise canceling. They're not supposed to be isolating or anything. So I think you'd be kind of hard pressed to really injure yourself.
Yeah, unless you were like jabbing your ear canals with like these pointy ends.
Which when you open,
am I doing it right?
When you open the packet, it has a little diagram like "Do not insert into
ear
canal."
Wear it like this. Yeah. The other thing that's kind of like finicky about these things is they don't fit my big head. How's your head? They basically press over here. They press on the sides of my skull.
Oh, they're just tight.
Annoying.
Yeah,
they're way too tight. So, and there's no way you can adjust them as well. So basically, if you've got a big head like me, you're out of luck. These are only going to be worn for about 15 minutes before it really starts aching. Yeah.
Oh no, that's no fun. But I mean, that's really that's one of the problems with that kind of a wearable. I mean, especially with glasses. One of the things that I think when I look at glasses, which I think those ones are really cool, right? So they look fine. They look like glasses. They're whatever. They're not extreme either way. But I think people have been really particular about the things that they put on their face. Like that's such a, you have to really make a decision when you're like, I am going to put this thing on my face. So there's a real limitation there with what you can kind of do with it, because you can't go too wild, because people will be like, oh, it's too wild, it's not for me. But you also don't, if it's too boring, people are not into it. And then people have different size heads. Like it's not like headphones where they go into each ear and and you can wear them differently.
And like even with headsets, like the ones we're wearing, they're adjustable, so you can
exactly. Like this is we all have different shaped and sized heads, so I mean, I guess that's just something they'll figure out over time. But I mean, but that's the other thing, is that some glasses are just like not good for individual people. Like you have to buy glasses that fit you properly. You can't just be like,
you don't walk into an optician and just try on the first pair and go like, oh yeah, I'll take it. It's never going to be like that. You're always going to try out different ones. The way they sit in the bridge of your nose, the way they press against your skull, all these things you want to try out. So it's very much like people who basically, I gave it to 4 of the people in my office, and 3 of us found that they was pressing against our skull.
Oh, okay. So it must just be a skinny design.
Yeah, it's just not meant for intelligent, big-headed people.
for big brain people. But I guess once they kind of figure it out, there'll be more models and more flavors for people to try.
If people really decide that they want audio sunglasses, and I can't believe that's a word now.
Audio sunglasses. I hate that phrase already.
Yeah. I mean, my bedside lamp is a speaker, so that's a different story. My lamp plays music now, but it's these are the kind of gadgets that people are coming up with. And if
is that your IKEA lamp that looks a little bit like a Hitachi magic wand?
Shut up. It looks good. It looks good. I love it. I don't care.
Jazz says they need to invent one of those snap wristband contraptions for the arms. Oh, you mean like the they kind of
just like wrap around. Yeah,
I can see that. That'd work. But I mean, those are. I think you've invented swimming goggles.
Yeah, just like snack.
I don't know. I don't know how much more useful that would be. So that's what you've been playing with. I'm very excited by this. If they were the right size for you, would you use them as a regular daily thing?
Well, the problem is because I'm blind as a bat, I need prescription lenses. So I would have to go to an optician, get new lenses for this, and then I'll be able to use it. So if I could do that, then I just might. I mean, I can still use them without using them as the actual audio glasses. I can wear them as normal sunglasses, be happy with it. But I would obviously have to get them with prescription lenses. But the reason that I wouldn't wear them is they just don't fit my head. So it's just really uncomfortable.
It just rules them out by default.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you heard that in 2025 you can implant sound stimulators into your brain? I can see that being a thing. I mean, we kind of already have that with like bone conduction. That's pretty much as close as it gets, right? I mean, until I'm not particularly interested in plugging any chips into my brain until that's a little bit more mature. I think. And I feel like 2025 is a very optimistic guess for that. I don't see that. I don't see that happening anytime particularly soon. Okay, what else do we have on our list here? What is Nick playing with? We should do something that I'm going to yammer about, which. A lot of you in stream we've already had this conversation, and this conversation was kind of the thing that inspired this. I mean, this is an idea that Nick and I have been talking about for a little while, and doing this show. But then the other day, when I had a stream and I was talking about my Galaxy Fold. Oh my god, the names of these devices are so confusing at this point. And I thought, look, you know what? Let's just shit or get off the pot. So, much to Nick's chagrin and very incessant suggestions that I do otherwise, I did purchase what's the proper name? Galaxy Z Fold 2 5G. And I know that you hate this, but I absolutely love it.
I mean, I don't hate it. I just think it's a bit much. But then again, you are super extra, so it's like it's perfectly on brand.
It's very on brand. It is very on brand.
I mean, I'm still chugging my Huawei P30, which is the last phone they made that has Google on it.
Oh,
so I'm happy with this.
That was the one with the telephoto lens, right?
Yes.
Yes. I played with one of those in person when they were released in Hong Kong. I didn't get a lot of time to play with it, but they're pretty good. I don't think that's a still chugging. That was like a top tier phone only a year and a bit ago. So, pretty close. So you reviewed one of these, right? Or you had one?
You had one in the office. Yeah. I was checking out the Motorola Razer, which was a different kind of foldable.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had this one.
Yeah. And what was your take? What did you think? Of the Fold rather than the Razer.
Yeah. Of the Fold, my take was that it is a much better constructed device than the original Samsung Fold, which was a hot mess. For reasons everybody knows if you can Google. But I think just build quality and form factor, they've done a superb job on it.
Yeah.
For people who enjoy that kind of big screen format, because I remember when Samsung was pitching the Samsung Tab series as a phablet that could also be a phone, and legit, I would see people walking around in the malls.
Oh god.
With these massive things, like making a phone call.
That was what, like 2014, 2015, when they had those giant tablets that actually had earpieces on them.
Yeah.
That was
And
bad.
I was like, you can plug headphones into that and make a phone call if you must. Like, but they're literally with this something the size of a magazine on their face making a phone call.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what this reminds me of. But obviously, you're not going to be doing that with the Fold. You're going to be closing it like a normal phone and using it.
Yeah.
Akin to the the Nokia communicator. Nokia. This is like pure Nokia communicator vibes.
Which one was the communicator? Oh,
One, it was basically the gray one with the one where it was,
it is.
who was that? It was Kelly Rowland was texting someone using a Microsoft Excel.
Texting on Excel. Nokia communicator. I remember that. I'm gonna show the children in the chat because I know a lot of you. This is.
Oh, there's a lot of people that won't even know what this is. So
this is gonna be.
This you will aid, please, Stephen.
Here is the Nokia communicator from what year was that? That was.
That's even the updated version. That's the color version. The original was black and white.
God. Actually, there were quite a few versions of the Nokia communicator, weren't there?
Yeah, but the original Kelly Rowland one was black and white.
Hang on, here, like
with full QWERTY keyboard.
Kelly, Excel.
Oh my god, it was iconic.
From the music video, I can't remember what music video it was, but oh no, it's see-through. But she was using Excel to text a friend, and the text says, "Where amazing. You at? Holler when you get this," and it's just written in Excel.
In column A, row 1.
Makara says Excel is my default messaging app. I mean,
oh, I love it. Mine's PowerPoint.
JB, did we have that in America? I don't know that America got a terrible amount of these interesting European this era of phones. I don't think they were particularly big in North America. But so to repeat things that I said on the last stream, my take on this has been really interesting. There are a couple of things that I didn't expect. The first one is how well built it feels. It's super satisfying. The hinge is like really sturdy. It has no give in it. The sound, as Jazz suggested, the closing set. Hang on, let me bring the mic over here. But
ASMR time.
Okay, are we ready? Oh my god!
That spoke to my heart.
It's so satisfying closing this because it does have magnets in it, which just right at the apex of the close, it clacks together really nicely. The thing that I didn't expect as much was how much I would enjoy the front screen. So the front screen is a skinny tall display. I'll just compare that to this guy. So I've got a Galaxy S20, just a regular S20, the small one, and my Fold. And the thing that I didn't expect is how much I would enjoy using this one-handed. This is way easier to type on one-handed and to use one-handed than this is, which is really surprising given how chunky it is. But I have found the front screen unexpectedly pleasant to use, and I use it actually quite a lot. That was the first thing that really surprised me in the first couple of days that I used it.
With that screen is that your thumb has less to travel, so it's like one-handed use is perfect.
Yeah, there's way less thumb travel. My thumb goes all the way across to the edge, so like I can do that with one hand. That's fine. Can only reach halfway up, but for the most part on phones, most of your interaction is happening at the bottom anyway with the keyboard and the nav gestures. So that was the first thing that got me. The second thing. Oh man, because I've already had this conversation. I'm trying to remember what I said the first time. It's kind of falling out of my head.
How's the camera on these things?
So I haven't had a huge amount of use on the camera. The camera it's a triple camera setup on the back. As far as I know, it's fairly similar to the S20 triple camera back, but the telephoto lens isn't quite as good as the one on this one. And from my experience, the only thing that's really the only place that I've been like, this was better. But look, my experience is that smartphones in general, if you've bought a new flagship phone in the last 2 years, they're all going to have good cameras. It doesn't particularly matter what you get. If you get an iPhone, if you get an S series, if you get you know, the Huawei P series or whatever, they're all going to take good photos. It just like when you line them up in Pixel Peep, then you can see some differences. But the reality is most people are just going to stick their shit on Instagram, which compresses it to hell anyway. So it kind of doesn't really matter.
I mean, nobody's uploading proper. I think for me, the best place that I consume photos and things like that, funnily enough, is on Twitter. Because a lot of times when people will post it, they just goes to Twitter. They don't apply any filters or anything to it. I mean, I certainly don't when I'm posting stuff to Twitter, and you get to actually see the original quality of the camera.
Yeah, they only did that recently.
Filters and things like that. Yeah, you don't have to worry about like filters be ruining it or whatever. So like that's why I like looking at photos when people post them on Twitter versus on Instagram. Instagram, like the aesthetic is there, but the actual quality and things you can.
It's still garbage. They're going to have to deal with that soon because it's looking pretty tragic and a bit dated at this point. But yeah, so the uploads on Instagram are good. There was something else that I was going to mention. What did I say the last time that I was doing this?
Oh, apps. We want to know about apps because obviously that's going to be a huge thing for people with such a big, screen inside.
So for the most part, the multitasking is actually really good. So there's just a little tab on the side. I will show you. I'm just doing it. There's a little tab on the side where you can just grab another app from a tray, swipe it over, and you get side-by-side apps. So there's WhatsApp and Twitter running on side-by-side. You can also grab apps and put stuff in floaty windows. So you grab Discord. I want that in a pop-up window. You can move them around. It's like truly, it's very much just a desktop experience for the most part. My experience with app performance is that almost everything works fine. The way that Android is architectured pretty much means that most apps are designed because they're like, we don't know what this is going to run on, so we've got to be pretty good with making sure that it's going to go. So pretty much everything looks pretty good. The only exception to that being Instagram, because the people in Instagram are just truly monkeys working at typewriters. It's Facebook.
Yeah.
So that one's a bit buggy, but I've discovered that you can just set individual, because obviously they know that some things are not going to play nicely, but you can set individual apps to run in a more classic screen ratio. So things like Instagram works, it just runs in this sort of emulated 18.5:9 aspect ratio, and then it just works fine. One of the things that I use quite a lot is, so when you're in like YouTube, right, it has these, there's not a lot of apps that support it, but quite a few of them will support. Let me turn that down. Modes where when you have it in like a semi open space, like an L shape. Oh, it doesn't do it when the ads are running. Oh my god, why are Instagram ads so bad? I mean, YouTube ads. Is it me or are YouTube ads getting worse?
Oh, they've always been worse, but I haven't seen a YouTube ad since like 2017 because I have like 4 different kinds of ad blockers. I refuse to look at YouTube on my phone for that.
Yeah, that's the reason. So anything that's a video player is really good, because if you put it when you're in the regular size, it'll just give you a full screen, right? You get this full app experience. But if you kind of halve it, it'll switch it into this like 2-panel view where you get controls on the bottom and your video on the top, which has been really useful because in some situations when I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like if I'm cooking, or if I'm, I don't know, in the bathroom and I'm, I don't know, trimming my nose hair, having this and just sitting this on my countertop has been really useful, because you kind of get this inbuilt stand plus, your seek bar and your controls on the thing below. So that has been surprisingly useful. I use that way more than I ever expected to. So that's pretty cool. The only problem with that, of course, is that requires an amount of effort on the behalf of developers. And obviously, I don't know, the people at Samsung must have some kind of sway at YouTube to make sure that they support that. Although I think it just works by default on any video apps that do that. The other combinations that I've found are really useful are having like Spotify and my workout timer on at the same time. That's been really cool. Because when I teach my classes, no, that's not what I want. I want to turn off the chroma key. When I teach my classes, I can manage my music and my timer at the same time. So that's been actually really helpful. And it's kind of different to using like an iPad style device, because this is pretty square, right? I mean, it's slightly wider than it is tall, but it's mostly square. But the advantage of that is that when you get two apps side by side, they're basically two phone-sized apps right next to each other.
Right.
So they're both usable. They're not like squashed and weird.
Yeah. Which is good, I think, because I think a lot of, because this product is still very new and foldable tech in general with smartphones is fairly new, it's going to be a lot more difficult for developers to say, okay, we're going to make sure that our app scales perfectly for the iPhone, for the Huawei, for the Samsung, for the Fold, for this. So if they've got an app that can automatically detect that it's running in a folded form and just adjust the interface that way, that's great. And I think definitely the major apps like everything from the Google suite, like Facebook, whatever, should be on that bandwagon, and they should be developing these kind of things built into their current apps.
Mikhail mentions they're implementing dual screen APIs for Android developers, but how many OEMs would use them as a default is a question. So I think they've already implemented a couple of sort of multi-screen APIs in the current version of Android, and there's sort of more to come, is as far as I know. From what I've read, Samsung did have, I mean, they're the biggest Android partner really. And they did have some involvement with Google in the way that they implemented these. So when there was a new version of Android, the Samsung, like, they wouldn't conflict. But so far it's been really good. There's been nothing that's been particularly buggy. The only app is Instagram that is
which
that
is the
dodgy.
app you use the most.
Which is the one app that I truly use. Yeah. So I'm like, well, you win some, you lose some. The other thing that I've noticed is really interesting, because I've been using before this the S20, which has the 120 hertz screen. I thought I never really took a whole lot of stock in that, and I was like, yeah, it's nice, it's whatever. The front screen is 60 hertz, and after using a 120 hertz screen for that long, it's chunky. Like, and I know that iPhones are only 60 hertz still for some reason. For reasons that truly, and it's the one thing that actually bothers me about this front screen is that it's 60 hertz. However, the inside screen is the 120 hertz. So the inside screen is really lovely. Has that super high refresh rate. It's really, really nice to use.
Which is the screen they ideally want you to be using the most anyways, which is why they said, okay, let's keep the inside 120 and the exterior one for like quick notifications and stuff at 60.
Yeah, which totally makes sense. I get it. I'm like, yeah, sure. So yeah, there's that. One of the things that I found that's been really interesting is that I do use this differently. Like, it feels more intentional. Like, my actual usage of my phone is different, in that when I'm just like, just checking my notifications and, responding to a WhatsApp or anything, I always have it in just the front screen mode. But as soon as I'm like, if I'm watching a video, like if I'm looking at any kind of media, I'm like, I want the big thing. And then that behavior feels really different, because it's kind of intentional. It's a bit like, when you have an iPad and you're like, I'm going to do iPad. When you pick up an iPad, it's usually inside a keyboard case or a folio cover or something like that. And you open it up and you're like, this is me. I'm doing iPad things now, right? Mm-hmm. This feels more like that, which is really odd. Not odd, but it's just a different way of thinking about it. Because when I'm done writing my emails or looking at Instagram or doing my things, I'm like, I'm done. And then I close it, which is a weird thing that we don't normally do with phones. Because normally you just put it down or whatever. But with this, it's like, I have finished the activity that I'm doing. So I it weirdly makes me feel like it's more intentful. It's more purposeful. In the way that I use it,
making you more productive in a way.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's making me more aware of not using my phone, if that makes sense. Like, and especially because sometimes I'll be just doing social media drivel on doom scrolling on Twitter, and I'll look at it on the big screen, and then I'm like, I'm done with this. And when you close it, it's like it's this mental thing. It's like, I've put that away now, and then I can kind of sit it down. So that's the way that I use it has been surprising, and both like as a philosophical usage as well as like a physical.
Have you dropped it on your face yet when you're looking at it in bed?
I did that this morning. It's if you're lying in bed with this thing open, it's very easy to drop it on your face. And it's big. Look at the size of this thing.
It's literally the size of your face, Stephen.
It's huge. So yeah, I did drop it on my face this morning. It wasn't pleasant, but you know what? Dropping any phone on your face isn't pleasant. So I would A- would not recommend. Do not buy from this seller. The other thing of the many other things that I've mentioned, I love having the physical fingerprint scanner on the side, the fingerprint scanner / button. So instead of so this has the in-display fingerprint scanner, whereas this one has a fingerprint scanner on the side there. So it's the power button / fingerprint. It's so much faster. It's so much better. Everything is, it's just like that. It's instant. It's that you just kind of go, you just gently breathe on it and it scanned you and it's unlocked you. Also, the face unlock is better on this, and I don't know why. Which is weird because it's just a little selfie camera. It's not like fancy face unlock. It's just, regular camera face unlock, but it is way better. It is way better on this and so much faster. So that's been surprising. Jazz asks, do you use it more open or closed? That's a kind of a tough question. I'd say it's probably about even. It's about half. I use my phone a lot and I consume a lot of media on my phone. But I enjoy it a lot more when I'm using it open, if that makes sense. Like it's a much more, it's like having an iPad mini, really. The side scanner was like the old school Sony scanners. Yeah, the old Xperias, they had that. It was pretty good. I hope you guys aren't getting too many. Are you getting drop frames?
I think we're getting a little bit of Australia internet at its finest.
Yes, high quality Australian internet. Yeah, don't worry about that. So I'm really pleased with this. I didn't expect to. It was one of those things where I played with a demo one in store because they do actually have demo ones of these in stores, which they didn't really of the original Fold. And then I peeped this one and I had my hands on it and I was like, yes, I love it, I want it. And now
my kind of final question is, how does it fit in your pants? And please, no bulges out in chat. Please keep the bulges out of chat.
You know chat all too well. It's fine, except for the fact that when I wear short shorts, which is quite often, it is quite long.
Again, chat, keep the bulges out of chat.
So if
I mean that's what I face as well, because when we were testing it, I said, like, I'm not one to put my phone in my back pocket or in a bag or anything. It's in my front pocket most of the time. When I said I don't really put it on a table when I'm eating, unless I'm like reviewing something and take photos or whatever. So it's always out of sight. And so it's something that big and that bulky sitting in my jeans or whatever, or formal trousers. It just feels uncomfortable.
I to be honest, I don't notice it. The only thing that I do notice is the fact that because it's quite tall, if when I'm working at the gym, if I bend down to pick something up, if I'm like at a bad angle, it does just slip right out of my pocket because it's already it's tall enough that that like the top peeks out, which is enough to just kind of get to be
so many innuendos.
I mean it's endless innuendo, really. So that's my story. Chat, do you have any other questions about the Galaxy Fold? Of course, I'm happy to answer these anytime, but now is as good a time as any, because this is the whole point of this conversation.
This whole stream, it's all about you guys.
It is. It's all about you guys. There are very few cases online. There seem to be more popping up. There's a very passionate Reddit community about Galaxy Folds, which I found, and they have all sorts of links for good things. So this case that I bought is quite lovely. I'm not mad about it. It's very nice. But I did have to, because of the way that it works, right? Hang on, will unfocus me. Because of the way that this meets in the middle here, there's no way for the cases to kind of clip around the edges. Does that make sense? Like, so in a normal case, you've got 4 sides, whereas with this, it can only go to 3 sides. So with some of the cases, if you don't get a great one, particularly the front, because this is just this little tiny little frame bit here. They can kind of be a bit loose and have a bit of give, but this one's nice and tight. It doesn't move anywhere, so that's good. But it is something that you have to be considerate of.
And I love the pink color of your case.
On the website, it was this color. In real life, it's this color. So size comparison to the S20. I'll just hold them side by side. So this is a regular S20, not an S20 Plus or anything. So yeah, that's the front, and then the side. It truly is just two skinny phones stacked on top of each other. And then the back spine. I do love the hinge is very pretty and it feels so nice. I still can't get over how like just really pleasant it feels.
I mean, they definitely took the engineering team, beat them up a little bit, left them in a dark room somewhere, and they're like, "You gave us the Fold 1, it was bullshit. You gotta come up with something better."
Did you play with the Fold 1?
I did, yeah, I did. It was at the time a marvel of engineering, but then when it started breaking up, we were like, claiming back my time.
Yeah,
reclaiming my time.
Man, that was a mess for that first release of the Fold 1, and then yeah, that was the thing is that because I'd read and watched as many reviews of this as I could possibly find, not really with any intent of buying one, but just out of curiosity, because it's cool, it's technology, that's the whole idea. And when after all the kind of the big reviews had come out and they're like, it's fine, they fixed all the problems, I was like, okay, this looks like it could actually be a consumer product. And I feel like even Samsung have figured that out now, because in the last month or so they've started popping up in retail shops being like, here you go, play with it, which is very brave of them, I must say, to have these on store shelves that you can just open and close by yourself. Because
I think that it kind of speaks to the confidence of the build quality, because they would say, we don't mind customers coming in and like opening and closing it and basically being a little bit rough with it, because we've designed it for a little bit more endurance than the previous model.
Yeah, exactly. It does speak to their confidence. On the topic of folding, I know nobody's actually asked this, but I know it is a point of question, is the crease. I almost never notice it. Hang on. You can just kind of see it down the center there. Oh yeah, the inbuilt screen protector on this is hot garbage, so I'm going to replace it with a better one. Look how many, it just picks up fingerprints like mad. This is truly disgusting. But the actual crease itself, I never notice it. You can see it on a black screen, but as soon as the screen's on, I don't even notice it. I I'm more aware of the camera hole punch than the so the hole punch on the camera hole punch there up there next to the thing is actually quite large compared to the one on the front. I don't even think you can see it, but it's a much smaller cutout on the front, and I suspect that's just a limitation of the technology, because the one on the front is a regular LCD, a regular OLED panel rather than the folding one on the inside. So I think they just have to have a bigger cutout for that. But I very rarely notice the hole punch, but when I do, it doesn't bother me too much, and I absolutely never notice the crease at all. So it's totally a non sequitur. So my verdict on this is, if you have a bunch of money to spend and be like, if you've got money to burn, honestly, and you want to be an early adopter, this is a great device. It's not without its faults. It's not without its problems. The software I found was not as, I don't think it's set up great out of the box, but there's so many thousands and thousands of settings and options that you can tweak with to get it the way that you want, which is good and bad. Like, it's good for someone like me who's a big nerd, but I think it could be like better set up out of the box for a person who doesn't know that they have to, go to the Samsung store and download Good Lock and then the quick start to change the settings and to make that all look nice. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's all doable, but I think it's a lot of that should be preset. It should be more like that out of the box.
Also, a quick mention for JB. It is available in the US. The original price is, get ready for this, $2,000 US. but it's currently on promotion from Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Sprint for $999. So yeah, for $1,000 you can get this.
Really,
this phone.
1,000? That's pretty good.
Yeah, 1,000 US.
In Australian dollars, these are 3,000 off the shelf if you buy them outright.
Yeah, and it's approximately 3,500 here for our local currency, so it's about the same.
Yeah. I mean, you're really buying early adopter tech here. This is for people who want something super shiny. It's not a. But you know what?
It's a conversation piece. Honestly, like you whip this out anywhere, people will be like, "What the hell is that?" And where can I get one?
Oh, it happens all the time. Like yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I came out of work and I went to like a Sombrero, which is like Sombrero, which is like a Cali Mex place on my way home from work, and I was standing in the queue, and the two guys were behind me. They came up to me. They're like, "What is that? Is that the new Samsung one?" I'm like, "Yes, it is." I was like, people they do be paying attention, and they knew all about it.
Tell me you didn't let them like put their grubby fingers all over it.
Oh God, no, not in these COVID times, darling. There's no touching.
Like, you can stand back, you can admire, but do not touch them.
Touch with your eyes, Brendan.
Yeah.
So it's definitely catching, and everybody who sees it is like, what is that? I think people are more confused than anything at first, and they're like, wow, okay, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough of me rambling about the Galaxy Fold 2, which I love. You've also been reviewing something that's very new and shiny.
Oh, really? I mean, I don't know what you mean, Stephen. I mean, I review a lot of things, and I don't know. It could just be. Maybe these things.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Chat. What do we start with those two options? There are two options there. There is a DualSense controller and an Xbox 7560X Pro X Series X Pandora box, the third. I would like to.
What would you like me to talk about first? Or Stephen, you pick one.
You know what? I'm gonna start with the one that actually piques my interest the most, which is actually the PlayStation 1. Talk to me about the PlayStation 5.
All right. The PlayStation 5, you guys, oh my God, this controller makes me moist. Genuinely. It is so fucking wild, all right? So the weight of it and the feel, the grip, it feels a little bit better than the PlayStation 4, because if you see the way that it comes down all the way here to nearly the end of my wrist, it really cradles it really nicely.
It looks so much more comfortable.
Yeah, it's a lot more comfortable than the PlayStation 4. Even just like the analog sticks over here, they feel a lot better. They've got a slightly better rubberized grip around them as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels really good with your thumbs. But the magic of this controller is actually inside it. And so when I was playing the Astro's Playroom game, which is like,
it's kind of like a tech demo, right?
Yeah, it's literally just along with the tech demo of what the PlayStation 5 can do. And so I was going through the bit about the controller. This thing, when you actually start playing with it, like the controller vibrates from here and travels all the way down here to get this one.
That is so cool. I'm so excited to try this.
Which is ridiculous, all right? Then it has adaptive triggers. Now, right now it's off, obviously, so like when I press it, it just releases straight away. But like in the game, it actually has resistance. So if I press hard, then only it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually pushing against my finger, which is insane for a controller to do.
That's I just
bamboozled.
Truly bamboozled. And I hear that the haptic feedback is really amazing.
Yeah, so that's exactly that. Is that you'll feel that when you're playing a game, if you're basically playing like a first-person shooter, as an example, as a poor example, but as an example, and someone's shooting you from this side, then the relevant section of the controller can vibrate as well. If somebody's like picking you up and shaking you, like parts of the controller vibrate as well. It's just done. It's so beautifully.
It's not like a ham-fisted rumble pack feeling, right?
It genuinely travels from one side of the controller to the other. And I don't know if there's like 20 motors in there or one that's kind of moving around, but it feels magical.
That's very cool.
Honestly, here at the bottom, there's a little microphone embedded for gameplay and things like that.
Oh, okay. Did the PS4 have that, or did you have to plug in a microphone?
You had to plug it. I mean, you can. You have a headset over here, headset jack there, but this has a built-in microphone now. And what's funny is that PlayStation is actually saying that you get the best experience when you plug in headphones, because the PS5 has 3D audio, so you can actually hear when something is coming like from behind you, in front of you. It's almost like having Dolby Digital surround sound.
Oh,
Just
wow.
in any set of headphones. So anything you have that you can plug into this controller, you'll be able to enjoy 3D audio.
Very, very cool. Have you had much of a chance to actually play with it? Did that only arrived fairly recently, right?
It literally arrived for me this morning. Also, somebody needs to redeem a thirsty redemption because I am thirsty as hell. Hang on.
I'm also thirsty. Hang on. I actually need to fill up my bottle. I'll be right back. Nick, keep them entertained for me for a moment, Nick.
Oh God, I have to entertain chat. Oh Lord, chat. Hello. As Steven runs away in his shorts. Hello, how is everybody doing? I'm Nick IGN. Welcome to Steven's Tech episode thing. What we're doing over here. Oh, have you actually played the PS5? If so, what do you think of it? Yes, Sinclair, I did. So I've played Astro's Playroom. I've played a little bit of Sackboy. I've played a little bit of the new updated version, special edition of Devil May Cry, as well as another game that I can't talk about. Reveling, hello. Can you talk about the mic? So what do you want to know, JB? I mean, it's basically over here, right there in the bottom of the controller. I suspect it's more for gameplay. So in Astro's Playroom, there was a scene where it says, okay, blow on the microphone to blow something away. Oh my God, I heard that in my soul. So I don't think, JB, it will be used for actual, like when you're playing Call of Duty and things like that, because you want your teammates to hear you quite well. So you'd still invest in a headset like this and plug it into the PlayStation, into the controller. But I think it's just more as like for people who don't necessarily have a proper headset, and they just want to like shout into the controller, they can literally hold it like this and say like, okay, I'm going in for this kind of going into a bunker, whatever it is. So that's probably why they put in a microphone. But it's also good for if the game developers want to use that microphone for bits of the gameplay. So it's just something that they have installed in there, and it's a good feature to have.
Is does it still have the same like the DualShock 4 touchpad?
Yeah, so it's right over here.
Yeah. Okay, so that just behaves the same way?
Yeah, it behaves the same way. And remember over here, there was that annoying light bar that was so fucking bright no matter what you did.
Yes.
So the light bars, okay, world first for Steven's channel. I'm actually going to turn on the controller. So there we go. And it lights up on the side.
Yeah, I cannot express how much I enjoy that visually as just an experience. That just touches all of my nerd buttons.
So that's basically the light bar now. It's so much more discreet. And just makes things a little bit easier to manage than having this massive light over here where it was before. But yeah, that's the PS5, boys and girls. It's so good. It's so nice. The one thing I really want from these controllers though is it's 2020. Good God, can we have wireless charging for these fuckers, please? Like I'm tired of having to like plug a USB-C or put it on a docking station. I just want to put it on
controller
a desk
docks
or a Q-pad, and it's done.
I really don't mind. I don't mind having a console that's like visible in my living room, but I hate controller docks. I just think they're so tacky.
Controller docks I can hide somewhere, but just like you've got this long cable plugged into your PlayStation, plugged into the port over here. It is
time for wireless charging on those. We have wireless, like it's a thing. Even if they sit like face down on a pad, that's all it needs. The pad can be in your entertainment unit, and you just like chuck it in there.
The other thing as well is with the face buttons here, they're all the same color now, so they no longer have the color coding that they used to have.
Oh, I knew something was different. I didn't pick that, but yeah, that makes sense. Are they like are they kind of clear with white inside?
Clear plastic. Yeah.
JB says, does the color change on the controller like on the PS4? Is that LED dynamic or is it just blue?
That's a good question, JB. I haven't played any games that utilize that or change it. So my thoughts would be just wait and see, I guess, until I play a game. For the moment, it's always just been blue or white over here as a status symbol.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm not really sure if it changes colors here or not. I would suspect it does have some features in there.
You would think so.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm basing that on truly nothing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
You're basing it on me.
Yeah, exactly. And also, that's how the DualShock 4s worked. So they had many colors, and it was dependent on what character you were and all that.
Yeah. Reveling, yes, I only got one controller because it comes with one controller by default, but you can buy an extra controller and just pair them up with your PlayStation.
I noticed that they were for sale at JB Hi-Fi on the the 12th on the day that they came out. They already had PS4 controllers on the shelf. I didn't see any consoles, but I did see PS4 controllers on the shelf.
What's funny is that Sony allowed retailers to stock and ship the accessories before the actual console. So you could buy the headset, you could buy extra controllers, you could buy the new camera, all of this before the actual console came out, so that people were ready for when they had their consoles.
Okay, I mean that makes sense, I guess. I mean, this is just such a weird time to be releasing a console.
Yeah.
In general, with the collapse of retail and all that. So, I mean, I guess they're doing the best that they can, given the scenario.
Given the scenarios, given the circumstances, they're like, fuck it, people need a little bit of joy in their lives. Let's release a console.
And I guess it also means that you can at least be, I mean, because consoles are often gifts. Like they're often used in that kind of way. So, I mean, at least you can be like, it's not here yet. I've ordered you one, but here you go. Here's the controller. It's coming.
I mean, I don't know anyone in my life that would give me a console. If you guys would give me a console, please slide into my DMs, post in chat, because nobody in my friend circle is gifting anybody a console.
No, nobody's gifted me a console either, which I'm very disappointed in.
Yeah. Well, that's what the tip jar's for, guys. Exclamation mark tip. Just saying. But yeah, that's my time on the PlayStation 5 so far, and I cannot wait to end this stream so I can go back to playing my video games.
Are you able to play PS5 on your stream?
Yes, so embargo for the console has lifted officially, so I'm allowed to have it on my stream. So depending on how the rest of my day goes out and how I get done with work, I may just be streaming / reviewing the new Sackboy game on PS5.
Oh yes, I love the Loupedeck Planet games.
Space.
So guys, if you're not already, click on that link and follow Nick IGN.
Give me a follow.
Yeah, so you can see some spicy new PS5 experiences. Next, something that has been out for a little bit longer, like about a week.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Xbox Exiest X360 720 box X series. Tell us about it.
This is I'm Blood. I don't have a good camera.
There you go. You're back in focus.
I'm Blood myself. Yeah. So basically, this is the controller for the Xbox Series S. S for sugar. It's the same thing for the X as well. The X is with my colleague. I've got the S to keep.
Wait, but are the controllers the same, or are they?
The controllers are exactly the same.
Okay.
Between the Series X and the Series S, between the Xbox One and the new generation, the only thing they've added here is this little button here in the middle.
Oh yeah,
but
the share button.
Everything else from a feel point of view is different as well. Again, this is on the quality of my camera. You can see this is the back of the controller. This is actually textured now. So when you're actually holding it, the grip is a lot better. So I'm guessing they thought.
Is it like that soft rubberized grip?
It's not. It's hard. It's a hard rubberized grip.
Yeah.
It's basically think of the texture of a nail file. That's what you have over here.
Okay. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
So it kind of just digs into your skin a little bit, and it doesn't slip. And it's the same thing for the triggers as well. The triggers have the same kind of textured feel.
Yeah.
So overall, it feels a lot sturdier to hold.
Yeah.
The size-wise, everything I think has stayed the same. The D-pad has got a little bit of a better finish. But the one thing I don't like about this D-pad is it's much louder. So I'm going to try and do this, if you can hear it.
Oh.
That's the D-pad.
That's very clicky.
Yeah.
Like to a point where,
as opposed to when you press down on the analogs, this is what it sounds like. And this is
that's. I don't know how much I love that.
It's just a little bit loud for my liking.
Yeah, it's quite a sharp sounding. At least, I mean, I know we're doing this over mics, but it's not a particularly pleasant click.
It's not a pleasant note. Yeah. It's like a very sharp, hard plastic.
Yeah.
You're furiously navigating through a menu or something. This is what you're going to be hearing.
Also, I feel like that would just be annoying for other people around you.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you have your headphones on, so you'll be clicking away, but people on the couch will be like, "Can this fucker just not click?
Can she stop?
Can she stop? How can she click?
How can she click?" And what games have you been playing on the Xbox?
So okay. Here's the tea. You guys ready? So with the Xbox Series S and the Series X, the big flagship game that was supposed to be like our Lord and Savior, showcasing the power of the Xbox, was Halo 5.
Is that Halo Infinite?
Sure. So it's I don't follow
I
the
know
Halo
all about
series. So let me see.
games.
Wait, let me see. Hang on a second. Halo 5 Guardians. All right. So that was
Guardians.
correct. So it's been delayed till next year. And the problem with that is you've got a super powerful console, but no game on the market to truly harness that power.
Mm.
So what you end up doing is playing the older Xbox One games that have been slightly updated with new textures and things like that to look pretty,
Mm.
but they
But
aren't
they're
even.
never going to be
They're never gonna be. Yeah, they're
next
not
gen
gonna be.
games.
Yeah, they're not going to be tapping into that power until well into the next year. So at the moment, the problem is that you've got these powerful consoles that aren't really showcasing their worth.
Mm.
The other thing is that people are getting a little bit iffy about the Xbox Series S, which is the one that I have,
Mm-hmm.
because that is the slightly less powerful console. It's got only 512 gigs of space, technically 300 gigs of usable space. So people are asking, why did Microsoft release this console? And when I was, reviewing both consoles, I thought the same as well. But then I thought to myself, how many of us, okay, in chat, let me know in chat real quick, how many of you right now have a 4K HDR TV in your possession? How many of you? Let me know in chat. All right. I have one because I saved up for one and I wanted to have a really good TV for viewing Netflix and obviously preparing for next generation of consoles. But I think to the average Joe, they're going to have like a 45, 44-inch LCD TV from Philips, something sitting in the living room that they've been, using for years, that they just want to go ahead and use with the next generation of console. They're not necessarily going to want to make the jump to 4K. They're definitely going to be not going to be paying like $1,000 for a new console and a new TV.
Yeah.
So for them, they just want something that plays the games that they love and can work on day one. And so that's where the Xbox Series S comes in.
Yeah.
It is basically a console that can load games really quickly, as basically the same speed as the Xbox Series X can. But when it comes to like performance, you're not going to see 4K graphics on it, which is fine. You just want to play good games.
I've heard it described as kind of the 1080p Xbox Series X.
Yeah, and it's cheaper for people. It also means that people don't have to worry about investing in new cables and new TVs. They can just kind of use what they're using at the moment and get into the game. And the other cool thing is with the Xbox platform is you have Xbox Game Pass, and Game Pass has so many great games that people can play all the way back from Xbox 360. So whether it's something new like Gears of War or Dead by Daylight or Destiny 2, you can play all of that on the Xbox Series S or the Series X for free. It's like what, $5 or $6 per month, which is insane.
It's so cheap.
So
that feels
so cheap.
I feel like Xbox Game Pass is that's really the killer app for Microsoft this generation.
Yeah,
at least to me, because like you pay money, games happen, and you don't really have to worry about it.
That's the best thing, because like that's what people want to do. They want to get into the game. They're going to be getting these new consoles for Christmas or whatever. They're going to be unboxing them and they want to jump into the games. Mind you, there's like a 890 MB update on day one for these consoles, which I experienced. So it's just like
a gigabyte update.
It's not like the PlayStation 2 days where you could just fire up the damn thing, pop in a disc, and away you go.
Yeah.
No, there's a lovely like nearly a gigabyte update. But once you get that, you can download your game.
Did you have the same thing with the PS5?
The PS5, my colleague reviewed, and yes, there was like a same update day one patch, because like obviously they want people to make sure that these consoles work great once you've actually powered them up. So yeah, these day one patches are sadly something.
I mean, I don't even know if we consider them day one patches. I mean, technically yes, but also like when I had a PS4, I played it rarely enough that every single time I booted it up, there was an update.
There was an update, yeah.
And then there was an update to the game, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I just want to play. I just want to get in and play.
Yeah, which I found really frustrating, but I guess I can't whinge about that too much. I mean, that's just the reality of our technology lives right now, is that everything is always constantly being updated, but it does get tedious.
Yeah, but it's I think something that people have come to expect, and so they know that okay, if a game is coming out, they've not just got to be ready for the game downloading, but they've also got to be ready for, once they've downloaded the game, there's like another like a gig or two for it to update. I mean, Lord knows, whenever I start Steam, it starts downloading all these shit in the background. I just say, okay, I just want to play my game.
Yeah.
I don't have to download like
just
4
do
other
the
game
thing.
updates.
Yeah.
I just want to do the thing. I just want to stream.
If you had to pick one to go in your collection of games consoles right now, which one would you jump into?
Historically, I've always been a PlayStation gamer, so just following that trend, I would say a PlayStation.
Mhm.
However, I absolutely hate the design because it doesn't fit anywhere. It doesn't. I got a beautiful new bookshelf for all my stuff. It does
And
not
it
fit in
doesn't
the
fit.
bookshelf.
No, because
It is
it's a
right now.
monolith. It's giant.
It's literally right now on the floor by my bed, standing up. So if I was to
I
remove, and
couldn't
the other thing,
believe how big it was.
yeah,
I knew that it was big until I saw that picture that you posted on
yeah,
Twitter,
yeah,
which
and you're like, what the hell?
is friggin' massive.
Here's the thing. This is the first PlayStation as well. You've got to build yourself. I don't know if anyone's covered this, um, or anyone's paid attention to this, but like you have to assemble the stand and screw it in with a screwdriver.
That's
It's not
so
like it snaps
much.
on and away you go. It's like I'm like I did not need IKEA to collaborate with PlayStation. Please,
Jazz asks,
I want to just
Jazz asks, can you take the wings off? And I believe you can. You can pop them off, but it's not pretty underneath. Oh. Uh-oh.
they're meant to stay on the actual device. So sorry, Jazz. No, there's no way you can. The only way you can make this thing fit is if you make it lay down and you put the stand underneath it, which is the second kind of configuration. But even then, it's such a massive thing. It's just so weird. Now compared to the Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series X is quite tall, but it's a cube. You can deal with that. You know, with the Xbox Series S, the one that I have it standing up like a book, so it's like nice and
It's also
compact.
it's small, the Series S. Like I was looking at one in
It is,
person,
yeah,
and
it's super compact. It's super compact compared even to the older 1S.
It reminds me of like a PS2 Slim.
Yeah, or even just like a set-top box for like a TV
Yeah.
decoder. Like it's exactly the same size, and then you can fit that somewhere in your TV cabinet, and you'll be happy with it.
Yeah, and as long as you don't have it standing up, it doesn't look like a drive-through order box.
Yeah.
When it first came out,
or like a room humidifier.
Humidifier, something like that.
That's what it is.
Yeah, or some really ugly Sonos speaker.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. No, fair call, fair call. I look originally when this kind of generation were coming out, I was thinking, you know what, this is probably the first time I'd actually maybe jump in and get an Xbox. But
Yeah.
then the PS5 controller happened, and I was like, ooh.
I mean, that controller on the PS5 is everything. Honestly, like it is so pretty. It's so well designed.
Yeah, I feel like that is very much that kind of that haptic response and all of that. That feels like the most worthy point of like something of actually calling something next gen. And with Xbox only having games that are effectively reskins or HD patches,
upscales or whatever. Yeah.
That's not a good sell for me. I'm like, that's not a big thing, but the controller, yes, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because this is an actual advancement in how people are going to experience games.
Yeah,
whereas the Xbox, it feels nice, but it's like it still rumbles. It still looks the same as the Xbox One. There are minute tweaks to how it feels, but this is like they've rebuilt it.
Yeah, I see that new generation of haptics is something more akin to getting an ultra wide or 5.1 surround, in that it's actually a thing that makes it more immersive and more interesting.
It changes your entire gameplay experience.
Yeah, and that's that. From what I've heard, I would love to play with one at some point soon. I haven't yet, but when I do,
but it's so worth it, Stephen. And then I know on your stream you'll then be streaming PS5. So good luck with that.
You have no idea how bad I want to buy one of these controllers. Jazz was saying, JB, I think you can guess that custom side plates yeah, I think custom plates are already available. You can at least get like custom D-brand skins and stuff for that. They're not a sponsor, but they should be. You can DM me D-brand.
Will actually come out with their own ones. I think they'll just come out with custom consoles. So like the God of War edition or the
usual
Call of Duty, whatever.
Final Fantasy 77 skin.
Yeah. All that stuff. Kingdom Hearts 27. I don't know. Whatever.
Kingdom Hearts 27. Okay, well, I think we've covered all the main points for this evening, which was your new toys, my Galaxy Folds, and the new consoles. I reckon we should. I think we should probably wrap it up for there.
I do have one thing that I wasn't planning to talk about on stream, but I might, because
Are you about to confess your love for me?
Well, I mean, that's a given, but no. It's actually one more thing that I'm playing with.
Yes, do tell me.
But I don't know if the cable is long enough. Okay, so this is, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to just try and bring it around. Hang on a second.
We're hanging.
hanging.
Hi,
Oh, this cable is
Socrates.
so fucking short. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have to disconnect it. Hang on a second.
Is it a
Technical
Hitachi magic
difficulties.
wand?
It is. It now plays music. All right, here we go. This is the other gadget I'm playing with.
Ooh, a Loupedeck.
Yeah.
I have heard of these. Tell us about this.
So this is the Loupedeck. This is the Loupedeck Live. It is essentially a rival to the Stream Deck. And these are basically screens, as you can tell by my smudgy fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be able to customize each screen to like an icon, a sound effect, or anything else you like. But in addition to the screen over here, you also have these little round dials.
Mm-hmm.
And the dials themselves
Love
can
some
be
extra
used.
Knobs.
Exactly. You can just fiddle with the knobs, and the knobs can be also pressed down. So, for example, this knob over here can be used to adjust your system volume. You can press it down to mute your microphone and things like that.
Clicky knobs.
There are buttons at the bottom as well to like cycle through pages of certain apps. It's interesting. It's definitely something to look forward to if you were thinking of picking up a Stream Deck, but you wanted something a little bit more customizable. This is definitely something that streamers are going to be looking at. I have mixed views on it, which you will hear about, I think, next week when I finish writing the review for this.
Okay.
But it's definitely an interesting product, and it's designed very well. It feels very solid.
Yeah.
And I think the other cool thing about it is it just doesn't work only for streaming. So if you fired up Premiere Pro or Photoshop, it automatically detects the app you're running and it changes.
So you can use it as an input device for a couple of different things.
Exactly. So like fuck me, like freaking Photoshop to save for web is Alt Shift Control S. Like
yep.
I get a freaking muscle cramp when I do that. So I can just press a button and all those keyboard commands are executed for me automatically.
That's pretty cool. I'm keen. I'm very interested to read your review on that and maybe discuss in a little bit more detail on the next episode. It looks pretty cool though. I like the idea, and it looks like, you know, the evolution of a Stream Deck.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it has dials and buttons here are really great, because like when
it
you're
changes
editing
the dynamic.
Premiere Pro, when you're editing in Premiere Pro, you can fine tune your timeline using one of these knobs, which is amazing.
Yeah,
you know, and I can press like a button here for the cut tool, another one for the speed and things like that. So it really can be customized pretty much for any other app. So even if you've got like word processing and you want to do different effects, you want to attach that to the Loupedeck, you can do that as well. It's very, very cool.
Macaron says the Adobe's Creative Cloud controls could be game changing. Absolutely. I mean, there's a huge market for like Adobe specific hardware tools, exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's like a touch bar for the desktop, except it's useful.
And you can configure it, basically. Yeah, that's the best part. But it's very, very cool. So yeah, watch out for my review coming soon.
Yes,
I'll be tweeting all about it.
Yeah, do tweet all about it, and also post it in the Discord on the tech games and tech channel, because I think people are pretty keen to do that.
And if you haven't joined the Discord, oh my god, I can't type. There's the link.
The Discord.
Discord, yeah. Please join the Discord and come and say hello and let us know what you thought about today's gadgets.
Yeah. So the plan, I mean, we don't really have a huge plan for this show. I hope you guys have had a fun experience here with us, just like yammering on about gadgets that we like, because I feel it's very much a vibe. I think Jazz says, whatever happened to the touch bar? It's still a thing. You can't buy a MacBook Pro without a touch bar.
It's annoying as hell.
They're dog shit. Sorry about it. I'm gonna be straight up honest. They are not good. I mean,
to be fair, we had Apple as 2 talking points on this show for our notes, and I have zero interest in pursuing those topics, to be fair.
I was like, yep, there's some new iPhones.
And there's a new Mac. Okay, what of it?
Anyway, moving on. No, because I've got loads of friends who do video editing on MacBooks and stuff, and I'm like, do you find this useful? And I've nobody that I know has gone, yes, I like the touch bar. No, nobody. Yeah. I don't know why I think it's just it's like you can touch it. It's got a touch screen, kind of. It feels very hacky to me. They're gonna have to figure that out eventually, anyway.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, it's run into so many problems as well, that when people like they break their touch bar or something or the other, like it's all my friends who've had MacBooks with a touch bar.
Crashy and unreliable, and
it's terrible. I'm gonna, for somebody who asked about Premiere Pro with the Loupedeck, I've actually just booted up my work computer. I'm gonna do something never attempted. I'm gonna actually move my camera
Ooh,
from the very first day that I've installed it. So hang on, shaky cam incoming.
the excitement. Oh, we're
All right,
going on
here
a
we go.
journey. Oh, here we go.
So that's basically all my
yes.
timeline controls.
Oh, that looks very useful actually, because I can, for the life of me, I cannot remember shortcuts in Premiere.
Yeah. So all of that
Yeah.
is, and you can just swipe through, and you get the different.
Oh,
controls.
nice. Okay, I see. So you get like macros of you get pages of stuff.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
That is very cool. I'm keen on that.
But there we go. All right, we're going back home. There we go.
Okay, I enjoyed the adventure.
Okay. But yeah, so that's that. That's the Loupedeck.
Macaron just mentions Mac on ARM is the big talking point from the last event, but no one has tried it out yet, so it's impossible to talk about. I think I think that's pretty honest. It looks impressive if what they claim is true. I think only time will tell with Mac on ARM. I just don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is that Apple during the presentation said that it's like faster than 98% of all PCs or something.
That's so vague. I'm like, get some balls. Like, tell us what you're talking about.
Really, like, and then it was like, sure, Jen, sure. That kind of a mood.
And there were a bunch of charts that had no axes labels on them. And I'm always I'm really skeptical when there are like, theirs does this, but ours does this, and then none of the things are labeled.
I love a good like pie chart or like a graph, like a good flow graph. That's like the best. I'm like, aha!
But you
don't know how to explain this, so you've made it into a graphical format.
Yeah, unless you got to have the balls to back it up. You got to be able to say this is 6 times faster than a comparable Dell XPS. Like you got to like. Yeah, I'm not big on.
I mean, I will give one thing: the new Macs are probably 422% faster than my Casio calculator.
Almost possible. I mean,
just by a smidge, just by a hairline.
But does your Casio calculator have a touch bar?
I mean, where are the
lies? You know what? I think on that note, we should wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us for the very first episode 0. I say 0 because it's kind of a beta test.
It's the first and last. That's it. This one will go down in history.
I think we're probably the kind of the vague idea is to maybe do this once a fortnight, every 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I'm never going to run out of fucking gadgets. That's for sure.
No, you're never going to run out of gadgets, and I'm never going to run out of opinions about gadgets. So we're going to be just fine, guys. Stick around. I'm going to be keeping on twitching. I'm going to play some games. But I think please bulges out in the chat for Nick for joining us, and I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have fun. This has been TechDrivel with Steven and Nick.
Bye.
Bye. All right, transitioning over.